Good morning. This week's devotion is just what you need. What will you wish for if you were granted just one wish? It might be fun to think about, but if you look at the stories about wishes, they usually backfire. Everything from the genie in Aladdin to the story of the monkey's paw show that you need to be very careful what you wish for, or you just might get it, and not in the way you thought. There have been a couple of times when I was playing Dungeons and Dragons with John Paul and my friends that we were given a wish. We would actually spend a long time carefully crafting each word of the wish to make sure that we actually got what we wanted, not something that would turn into a curse. Not that any of us will ever run into a magic genie or a fortune-telling machine at the fair that will actually grant wishes. But Jesus does say, "Ask, and it shall be given to you." So, how do we ask God for things? Do we ask God to help us win the lottery or for our favorite sports team to win? Do we ask God to take away the cancer or illness of a loved one? And what if our prayers aren't answered in the way we want it? How can we be faithful in our requests to God? This week's Old Testament lesson deals with this very thing. God tells Solomon, "Ask me for anything, and God will grant it." Listen to 1 Kings 3 5 through 12. At Gibeon, the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night, and God said, "Ask what I should give you." And Solomon said, "You have shown great and steadfast love to your servant, my father David, because he walked before you in faithfulness, in righteousness, and in uprightness of heart toward you. And you have kept for him this great and steadfast love, and have given him a son to sit on his throne today. And now, O Lord my God, you have made your servant king in place of my father David, although I am only a little child. I do not know how to go out or come in. And your servant is in the midst of the people whom you have chosen, a great people, so numerous that they cannot be numbered or counted. Give your servant, therefore, an understanding mind to govern your people, able to discern between good and evil. For who can govern this great people of yours?" It pleased the Lord that Solomon had asked this. God said to him, "Because you have asked for this, and have not asked for yourself long life or riches, or for the life of your enemies, but have asked for yourself understanding to discern what is right. Now do according to your word. Indeed, I will give you a wise and discerning mind. No one like you has been before you, and no one like you shall arise after you." Now, Solomon could have asked for anything, for riches, or to be the most powerful ruler in the world, or to have a harem full of the most beautiful women in the world. But what did Solomon do? He stopped and actually thought about what he really needed. He was young and inexperienced and really wanted to be a good leader for the people. So he asked for what he needed most, the wisdom to be a fair and just ruler. I think that request, in and of itself, was already a wise request. What can we learn from Solomon's wisdom? When we go to God in prayer to ask for things, maybe we should consider first what we need. What would help us the most in being the person that God created us to be? We could ask to understand God's word better, or to have a heart of compassion for our neighbors, or for God to guide us when we have to make important decisions. Now, don't get me wrong. Jesus told us that we were to ask for what we need. It is okay to ask God to heal a loved one or to help us get a job that will allow us to feed our family and pay our bills. But if we try to ask for what we really need to be the person that God meant for us to be, then we may be surprised at how much God blesses us in answering our prayers, even when they aren't answered in the way that we expected. Have a blessed week.